Hey everyone, I decided just recently, really, to listen to every single audiobook that Jakobi Diem has narrated for reasons. I'm not taking any questions at this time, but his voice is just so beautiful, and he just put so much feeling and emotion into the narration. He is one of my favorite audiobook narrators because I've listened to a few already, and so you know what, I was just like, I gotta listen to them all. I'm gonna start with the ones that are on Hoopla because they have actually quite a bit of his audiobooks on Hoopla, my digital library. So I listened to Strictly Professional and Unfinished Business by Christina C. Jones, and he and Wesley Siobhan narrated both of those because it's dual perspective from the two main protagonists, and I love those two so much. So it's like when the first book ended, it's basically about Gabby, who has graduated and passed the bar and is going to be starting as a junior associate at her uncle's law firm, and you gotta like get with like a higher up lawyer to kind of show you the ropes, and that is where Terrence comes in. Terrence, I think at that point in time, had been working with them for like 3 years or something. I think so. He'd been working there for a couple years, you know, paying his dues, and her uncle, Gabby's uncle, is really impressed by him. So her uncle partners them up to work together. Little did he know that the night before they had met at a bar and they had shared like a really passionate kiss. Oh. Well, she was at the bar because her friend dragged her out because she had just broken up with her sleazebag of an ex. I don't even remember his name, but he's just, he's terrible. Trigger warnings for domestic violence. Her dad also, Gabby's dad also like hits her in this book, so please just trigger warning on that. But anyway, I love this book. Of course, it's a romance, so it ends in a happily ever after. But then the second book, the first two chapters, like my jaw was on the floor because it starts off with them, you know, spoiler alert, I'm gonna put the picture of the book up if you don't want to be spoiled for the second book, because it's obviously if you want to read it first. But so if you don't want spoilers, just fast forward until you don't see the picture of the book anymore. So the second book starts with basically how the first book ended. It was a few months after their daughter was born, and Gabby had quit being a lawyer at the firm to raise their daughter, and because that's just an expectation that Terrence had. Terrence's mother, you know, quit her profession and raised their kids, and in his mind she was very happy, but he doesn't realize that she wasn't very happy. You know, she did it because she thought that's what you had to do, and she made the best of it, and she was never, you know, angry or not manipulative, but you know, she didn't show that kind of animosity towards her kids because it's not her kids' fault. So, and then Gabby's not happy. Gabby, you know, like they didn't really sign up to, you know, get pregnant and have a baby. But you know, these things happen when you have unprotected sex. So she was like, I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm good at it. You know, I passed the bar, you know, and I was a good lawyer before I had this baby. And the fact that Terrence like wasn't helping her, you know, with the baby because he's working so many hours trying to quote unquote provide, when really it's like, yes, you're providing money, but we still need you to be there and provide like moral support and to help her with the baby, because yes, while you're gone working all day at the firm, I'm still here with the baby and I kind of need a break from the baby. It was a whole thing. So they broke up. Yes. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, wait, stop, you're not supposed to do this. So I was actually like moved to tears, like listening to these first two chapters, because Gabby was very hurt, and Wesley Siobhan, like she was really good at portraying the emotions too. So it's like, I was like crying. I was like, oh my God. But the prologue is when they first break up right after their daughter was born. And then the rest of the book is like 6 years later. 6 years. Yeah, their daughter is 6. So it's like them trying to understand each other and get back to each other. So it's like, it's a second chance and everything ends up okay. But I'm just like, I was dying. You know, listening to those two books, I was like, you know what? I really love this audiobook narrator, Jakobi Diem. I just went and looked. I just clicked on his name and a whole slew of audiobooks came up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to these all. So that's why I decided to do this vlog. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. The next book on the list, I forgot the title. Oh my God, hold on. Okay, so the next book on the list, like I just clicked on his name and it just like all the audiobooks. I'm not doing this in any particular order. It's just the next down the line. That's what I'm doing. Is A Surrender to the Cyborgs by Grace Goodwin. So very interested in that. I have no idea what this book is about. Let's see if I can look it up on Goodreads. Hold on. Okay, so I just looked it up on Goodreads and it's a menage. Okay. Wrongly imprisoned whistleblower Rachel Pierce would rather take her chances with her court appeal than accept her place as the first interstellar bride destined for the colony. She's stubborn and determined to seek justice and her freedom on Earth, but her mates are not willing to risk her life or her future on a system they believe to be both primitive and corrupt. Maxim fought 10 long years in the Hive Wars, captured and tortured with his second, Reiston. They escaped only to be rejected by their own people and condemned to a life on the colony with their other contaminated cyborg warriors. As leader of Sector 3, it's Maxim's duty to set an example for his warriors and summon a bride. When she refuses transport, he can't allow her rejection to demoralize an entire planet of battle-hardened but jaded warriors. Maxim and Riston transport to Earth where they decide that she's theirs, and a maximum security human prison will not keep them apart. Okay. It's a male, female romance. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. Calm down. Okay, so I am going to start that. I am going to listen for just a little bit because in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be doing writing sprints with Literary Fairy and Whitney over at Books With Me. Hopefully, if she's feeling better, because she wasn't feeling too good. I'm going to do that while I wait for 3 o'clock to roll around and I'm doing writing sprints and for like the next hour and a half, I believe. But I'm very excited to be reading this. Okay, calm down. All right, I will update y'all a little bit later. Hey everyone, so it's like 10:30 Sunday night, April 11th. I'm about probably a little less than halfway through Surrender to the Cyborgs by Grace Goodwin. And I have read a couple other things by Grace Goodwin, and I forgot that this starts off quick. So Interstellar Bride program is basically if you want to go to different planets or spaceships or something, and if you want to go into this Interstellar Bride program where you go to this facility and they put you into like this induced coma and you have like this vision of who your mate is going to be, and it is very sexual. It's like a really intense wet dream. So that's how this starts. Our female main character, she was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. This is like worst case scenario. I have to trust in the United States justice system and know that I did not do anything wrong, so the justice system will prevail. Wrong. She's actually imprisoned, awaiting trial, and I think for like the first couple of days, she's in like solitary confinement, so she's not in Gen Pop. But something happened, and the judge ruled like she will no longer be in isolation. She's going to go into the general population, and word has come that she's basically going to get killed. Because the people who want to keep her quiet, they don't want her to make it to trial. They don't want her to testify, so they're just going to silence her while she's in jail. And so the scientist that is a part of the Interstellar Bride program, she knows all of that, so she wants to save our female main character. I cannot think of her name. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't think of her name. So wants to save her, so she goes to the two alien males who were selected to be her mates, and it's like, y'all, your mate's gonna die, you gotta go rescue her. And so they're like, Okay. And they do. And they tell her, like, what all's going to happen. It's like, okay, you either have to leave Earth right now or you're going to die. And so she obviously leaves Earth because she's smart. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. Jakobi Diem, he is narrating the Maxim, I believe. He's basically like the number one of these her two fated mates, basically. So there is the like alpha, the head honcho, and then there's the second. So Jakobi Diem is narrating for the head honcho guy. His name is Maxim, and the second is Riston. I swear I just listened to how they pronounced his name and I can't think of how they pronounced his name. Ryston, you know, it's the RY. It's that whole thing, like Rysand, Rysand. It's that whole thing again. But anyway, so there's 3 different narrators. Do I know who the other 2 narrators are? I probably should, but I don't. I'm sorry. This is a Jakobi Diem reading vlog, and he's the one that's important. So yeah, they have some interesting customs when it comes to their mates. They have to put a collar on. They each wear a collar. It's not like just the women wears the collar. So they each wear a collar that match, and basically signifies that they are a mated pair and you should not go after this female. And they are in a throuple relationship, but the head honcho, the first guy, he has basically dibs on the cat, until she's basically, you know, pregnant, and make sure like the first guy, head honcho, his seed is the one that takes, and then the second guy can have at her. But there obviously are other orifices that he could use. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but anyway, it's good so far. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so that's basically where I'm at. I'm hoping maybe I can finish it tonight. Like I said, it's after 10 o'clock, so I don't know. I don't know exactly how much longer I have in this audiobook, but I'm gonna try. But anyway, that's my final update for tonight. I'll catch you all later. Bye. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, today, Jakobi Diem followed me back on Twitter. So I started following him yesterday after I was, you know, reading Strictly Professional and Unfinished Business. So I was listening to those 2, and I was just like, I gotta follow this man. And I followed Wesley Siobhan as well, but he followed me back. Life made. That's all. That now I'm really done with the updates. Bye. Okay, so I am on my lunch break from work. I'm gonna go get some lunch, but on the drive home, on the drive to work, and just on downtime as well, I have been listening and did finish Surrender to the Cyborgs by Grace Goodwin. And let me just tell you, these series, like this sci-fi series, like really anything written by Grace Goodwin is spicy AF. And it starts off like right away, and then the plot happens, which I did like the plot of this book. So what happens in this book is that our main characters, they find that there is this infection that's going around people or beings, most of them were just aliens, that have these cybernetic implants that was from the quote-unquote hive, which is what they fought so hard against, and they finally found their freedom from the hive and all that stuff. So while they're at a dinner, a human with these cybernetic implants got this infection too, and he died like right there at the dinner, and which is sad because he was actually really nice and he just wanted his happily ever after. He, you know, signed up to be in the Interstellar Bride program, and I was very upset that he died. Okay, so she's like, okay, it's like, this is, you know, very strange. And then our male main character, Maxim, the head, the alpha, the one guy, not the second one, not the, like, his secondary person, but the first mate, I guess. This is very difficult to explain. But so he was getting signs of this infection as well. And it's like, basically, you know, when you have a really bad infection and there's like red lines, like almost like veins, it's the infection in your veins and in your blood. It's red on people, but in these beings with the cybernetic implants, they're actually black. So when Maxim has this infection, that's when, you know, it's like, my man is not going to die from this. Her name is Rachel, I think. I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry. So yeah, Rachel, she was like, my man is not going to die from this. I just found my mate. We're happy. And I'm going to fix it, because she's actually a doctor, not like a medical doctor, but like a science doctor. And she's like a biochemist or engineer or something, but she knows about people's like bio stuff. So she's like, I just got to figure out what the hell is going on. And she's like, I need microscopes, I need slides, I need access to this tissue that's been infected. Like, so she works her butt off, and she does. She finds the cause of what's happening and what's causing this infection, and she saves the day, and they have their mating ceremony, and they're mated, and they're happy, and I loved it. So yeah, moving on to the next Jakobi Diem audiobook, Teach Me by Alexandria House. I think it's Teach Me. I'll have to double check, but that's actually on Audible, and it's included in the Audible Plus program. Awesome. So I'm going to start listening to that. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone. So I'm just about to sit down and write for the night, but I just wanted to update you on the Jakobi Diem situation. I'm almost finished. I think I have 20 minutes left of Teach Me by Alexandria House, and I'm loving it. I love the dynamic and the chemistry between our two main characters, but there is something that just happened in the last, I want to say 40 minutes, that I was just like, what is going on? I was so confused about what was going on. It just really came out of left field, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. So I'll put a picture of the book up. If you don't want to be spoiled, go forward. But so in this book, we have Nadia, who has carried some trauma over a past love, and she believes she is responsible for his death because he had asked her to marry him when they were very young, and she's like, no, I still want to kind of travel the world, I still have my whole life ahead of me, kind of thing. And he got very depressed and wrote a suicide note, abandoned his car. It was believed that he had committed suicide, and his whole family hated her because of that. So in the middle of our happily ever after, like I said, it's 40 minutes to the end, he just comes back. His name is Sullivan, and he had apparently faked his death. And he has been kind of stalking her for the last, I don't know how long, and you haven't been with anybody, and that's because you really want to be with me. You were waiting for me. And so he asked to marry her again if she would marry him. And she's afraid to say no because he pulled a gun on her. This guy is crazy. So yeah, I'm still really enjoying the story. But what is that plot twist? What's happening right now? Oh my God. So I'm going to finish that tonight, and then I'm going to move on. I don't know which book I'm going to choose next, but I just wanted to update you because it's been a while. So I will talk to you later. Bye. So I finished Safe With Me by Stephanie Nicole Norris, and that was book number 1 in Falling for a Rose, and I really liked it. This is my first book by Stephanie Nicole Norris, and it's not going to be my last. I'm going to continue on with that series. I've also decided for this vlog that I'm only going to be reading or listening to the first book in a series. because I just feel like there's a lot of books to get through and I don't want this vlog to be overly long. So, but yeah, I am really loving it. Okay, so Safe With Me, we have Samaya, who has recently divorced from her husband because he was cheating on her. She tried to like make it work, but he just wanted her to sign the papers and get it over with. So she's like, sure, whatever. Then she goes to a bar to, you know, get a drink, take a load off, because it's just, you know, after you divorce and you feel like a failure and years gone down the toilet, you need a drink. So she goes to a bar and she meets Jonas. They have this, you know, instant connection, instant attraction. And she was like, I recently just got divorced. I don't need to be doing this, you know, and she's got her mother in her ear just saying all men are cheaters kind of thing. And she doesn't need any man. So that's just kind of plaguing her in this book. And then she does a really good job for a client, and he offers her, at the insistence of Jonas, a vacation. And her best friend just says that you would be an idiot if you don't take this vacation. So she does, and he's there, and she sees that he's there, and they have this sexual gratification, which, love it. They're kind of at a point where they're just like friends with benefits kind of thing. Neither one of them really say that they're exclusive. And Jonas has this secretary that she was like, I'm doing like this auction thing for charity, and would you please bid on me so, you know, I could go on a date with someone that's, you know, that I like, blah, blah, blah. Really, she's holding a torch for him. And I don't know if he is oblivious or what, but he says yes. And, you know, he was supposed to bid on her that night. And there's this one scene where like she like comes onto him and she like trips and falls into his lap, and he's super nice about it. But then Samaya sees them, and, you know, she's just back into that spiral where, you know, all men are cheaters kind of thing. And he doesn't really grovel or explain well what is going on. And I don't know how I feel about that. That was the one thing that just kind of irked me in this book. But by the end, of course, and she forgives him right away too. Because she actually does that whole auction thing too, and people are bidding on her, and he waits to the last minute. You know, the bids are like $50,000 or $500,000, and he's like $1 million, and of course, like, he wins because, of course. But and then everything is okay between them. I mean, I guess if a man bid $1 million to have a date with me, I wouldn't be mad at him either. But yeah, that was the only thing that kind of irked me. And there was like this little, you know, kind of part in the book where she gets kidnapped and he has to, you know, save her. So I was like, I didn't expect that to happen, but kind of like increased the intensity a little bit. And I really liked it. So I gave it 4 stars. And so I'm moving on to Set by Alexandria House. I'll probably listen to this entire series because the first book is only like 2 hours long, the audiobook. So I'm not anticipating the other 2 books to be that long. So I could probably get through them all like today. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat my lunch now, and I will update y'all a little bit later. Bye. Oh, and there was this one scene in Safe With Me, very first part of the book, where I think it's after their first sexual encounter or during, because it's after their first sexual encounter, and she comes out of the bedroom and he's making breakfast, and he puts her on the counter and starts going down on her, but then he like grabs ice to make his mouth cold, and something happens. I think the phone rings or something happens, and he just like, and it says like he just swallows the ice cube. I'm just like, have you ever accidentally swallowed an ice cube? I about choked to death. And he just swallows an ice cube like nobody's business. I just thought that was really funny. Anyway, okay, now you're all up to date. Bye. Hi everyone, it is Monday, April 19th, and on the way to work today, I listened to one of Those Flings by Lauren Blakely. It was one of those really short Audible original with like a full cast and narration It's kind of like a book that's written specifically to be an audiobook. And Jakobi Diem was one of the narrators, even though he wasn't the main character, he was just a side character. I recognized his voice instantly. This book was okay. It wasn't, it was really, like straightforward, to the point. This woman is going to a wedding in Maui, and she's also celebrating her 1-year singleversary, where, she is celebrating saying no to like dates that don't mean anything and boyfriends who, are just bad news kind of thing. And then she meets a tour guide, and he's really sweet and really funny, and they just hit it off really quickly. And he's one of those rule followers that, he does not want to have a relationship with a customer. Obviously, it could equal bad news. And Jakobi Diem narrating is the person he owns the business with. And I would have liked to have heard more Jakobi Diem, but yeah, honestly, I felt like this book was just okay. The narrators were good. I mean, obviously Jakobi Diem was amazing, but the rest of them were good as well. It just didn't, there's nothing wrong with it per se, but it just didn't, hit me like, oh my god, this is amazing. Not like Call Me Maybe was amazing. But yeah, this was just okay. I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Honestly, I listened to it on the way to work on 2.5 speed, so I think the audiobook is like an hour and a half or something. But anyway, I just wanted to update you on that. And I probably won't be focused on reading today because I do have to edit and upload my writing vlog. So the Jakobi Diem audiobook extravaganza is going to be put on hold for just a little bit. But I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone. So it is Monday, April 19th, and I just finished Touch Me by Alexandria House. So this is a second book in the series. It's something University, Rami University. But the first book was Teach Me. So this was Touch Me. Nadia in the first book, Teach Me, this is her best friend. So I really enjoyed this book. I just thought it was so swoony and romantic, and it's like a fated maid situation because our heroine has been dreaming of her love interest for like months before they met. And in the dream, it's not only like sexual, because sometimes she has the wet dreams about him, but it's not only that, it's like she feels like a deep love for this man who she's never met, but then meets him at the college that she teaches at. She's a professor, and he is doing some teaching as well, but it has to do with art. So he's an artist. He takes photographs, and so that's when they meet. And their two focuses, like their two specialties, are very, very similar. She teaches about like decolonization of the mind, and he actually does like that in art form, where he takes pictures of people who are not what the mainstream, the standard of beauty. So their two specialties are very, very similar. So the dean has this idea of him doing a lecture or a lecture in her class. So that's kind of how they meet, and she is shocked because, that's him. That's the man of her dreams, like literally. And, she calls her mom for advice because her mom is very deep in this spiritual belief about, her like premonitions and powers and things like that. There's definitely some trigger warnings for emotional abuse. Our male main character, Giovanni, he had a really messed up childhood. His father left when he was very young. His mother did nothing but badmouth him the entire time, and kind of used them in a way to get money from their father. And so he, you know, he's on antidepressants, he has panic attacks, and he has sleep paralysis where, you know, he, you know, is waking up, but he can't move at all, you know, even though he's awake. So definitely trigger warnings for that. There's also a scene where he is beaten up very badly and he's hospitalized and he has like swelling in his brain. So trigger warnings abound for all of that. So just be cautious as you're going in there. But I really, really, really loved this book, and just the relationship between our two characters is just so, I love it. And also the relationships between their parents. Giovanni is meeting up with his father and them discussing and kind of finding some common ground, and his father apologizing to him for leaving and abandoning him and stepping up now, you know, kind of like the better late than never kind of thing. But also our female main character, she has run away from this power that she's had inside of her, and she pushes her mom away too, because her mom just wants it. She just wants it to flourish. She wants her daughter to just accept who she is and just embrace it. And so it's their relationship and coming together and being stronger and learning from each other. And I just thought that was just very, very beautiful. I just loved it. I loved it a lot. And of course, Jakobi Diem is just phenomenal. And typically Wesley Siobhan is the one that narrates with him, but I'm going to find out who is narrating this one, because she was really good too for the female main character. Okay, so the female narrator, her name is Adrenale Ojo. I'm probably butchering that name. I'm so sorry. And in the book, the female main character, her name is Charla. So she was just phenomenal too. I think she narrated the first one too, but they are both really great. So I really, 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 really liked this one. I 5 stars. I loved it. Really touched my heart. So I don't know which one I'm going to continue on to read next. I should probably pick it before I have to drive to work tomorrow, because there's nothing worse than you're in the car, ready to drive, and you don't have anything to listen to. And you're waiting for a red light so you can look through stuff, but you hit every single green light. That's when you hit all the green lights, is when you need a red light to stop and look for stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to update y'all on that, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, April 20th, and today I listened to Caribbean Rescue by Cami Checketts. It's a romantic suspense. I had no idea, so I was very excited because I love romantic suspense. So in this book, we have Maddie, who is a new graduate from college. She is on quote-unquote vacation with her father. Little does she know, her father is actually a pirate, and he's actually, you know, done some pretty bad things. And when there is like this mutiny with like his crew that he does all this, you know, stuff with, he basically confides in Maddie. He's like, take this flash drive. It has everything you need to give to Homeland Security to bring to light, you know, everybody in this operation. Here's some money, some passports to get you and your mother to safety. And he puts her on like a little dinghy, like a life raft, and tries to hold everybody off who's a part of the mutiny so his daughter can get to safety. So it's the middle of the night, okay? It is pitch black out. She can't see. So she just heads in the opposite direction of the boat. She just starts driving until she sees lights in the distance. And so she's like, it's not a yacht. It's not a boat. The lights are too far apart. So she's like, hopefully this is an island and I can get someone to help. Well, she's coming in hot. She's coming too fast, and she hits like, there's like a shipwreck and some like reefs and stuff in this one part of, you know, the inlet coming in to dock. You know, this man is on the beach and he's trying to tell her like, hey, stop. Like, you know, you're coming in too hot. You're going to hit this thing. And she does. She hits it, she goes flying, and all the papers and the flash drive, she has the flash drive, but all the papers and the money, you know, just goes flying out. She goes flying ass over tea kettle, hits her head on some, on the reef, but she is able, you know, to come to the surface and start swimming. The man jumps in and pulls her to the dock. And the man that helps her, his name is Zach, and he is our male main character. You know, he's attracted to her right away. He believes in her story pretty much. You know, he doesn't take any convincing, which was kind of sketchy. But so she's there. He has this house that's there, and he's kind of alone on this island to kind of get away from the limelight, because he was an athlete in the Olympics, and he tripped, and he was a runner. He tripped and kind of botched everything. Everybody was rooting for him, and so he is kind of, you know, a recluse, just to kind of get away from everybody. So she's there, she spends the night, and the next day, these people are after her. And so, like I said, he believes her story right away. They sneak out some like hidden passage, and he has a yacht, of course, because he's very well off. So they book it to the next island. And, you know, as they're pulling into the island, she sees, you know, the people who are responsible and the people who betrayed her father. And they're like, there has to be a tracker somewhere, either in you, on you, something, because they are catching up to us way too quick. And so they figure out that it's the flash drive. The flash drive is what has the tracker on it. And she's like, I can't just dump this. It has everything that is going to help put these people away for good. And he was like, we can get the hard copies. Well, I have scuba gear. We'll just go back to my little island and we'll find everything. We just got to ditch this flash drive because it's not safe. You know, they're tracking you. And so that is basically the whole setup of this book. And like I said, romantic suspense. I like it. The things that happen in this book is just like, sometimes it's like convenient, you know, like he straight up believes her that, you know, people are after her, and like goes into protective mode right away. He's known this girl for a day. I mean, it's a romance, so I'll allow it. But you know how in romantic suspense, the heroine always gets into trouble. It's usually towards the end of the book. They haven't confessed their feelings for one another yet. And this is when they realize they can't live without each other. She's in trouble, and he busts in to save the day. That happens in romantic suspense, right? That is a thing. That is a trope that happens in romantic suspense. Anyone you read, that's going to happen. So in this book, you know, she thinks everything is, you know, taken care of. The police have said, like, people are in custody, and so she thinks it's safe. She's with her mother in the States, and little does she know that the main guy, his name is Bello, he's had a thing out for her too. It's kind of weird. He was like, I'm gonna have my way with you, and then I'm gonna kill you, blah, blah, blah. And they, like, literally, like, page after page after page of them, her and then her mom, she even gets the neighbors involved, of trying to fight off this guy and to get the police to come and arrest him. And then, you know, her mom kicks butt. Her mom has like some self-defense training, so she kicks this guy's butt, and they manage to wrestle the gun away from him. And, you know, Maddie has the gun, her mother's in trouble, and she's like, I'm gonna shoot you. And he's like, no, you won't. You know, I'm like basically calling your bluff or whatever. And then you hear, like, there's a voice in the background. It's like, if she won't shoot you, I will. And I'm like, yes, he's here. He's here to save her. And then they're going to confess their undying love for each other. It's not. It's the police. Like, seriously, the main guy doesn't even come and rescue her. The police do? What kind of romantic suspense is this? The main protagonist has to be the one to save her. That's like it. That's just a thing. That's just known. That's just how it is with romantic suspense. So that kind of fell flat for me. But, you know, Jakobi Diem's narration is really great. This book is in dual perspectives. So you have Maddie's perspective, and then you have Zach's perspective, but he narrates both, and he does, you know, the female narration very, very well. Usually, you know, guys can't really pull off like the higher, you know, voice of the female characters, but he does it very, very well. And then also another thing that kind of got on my nerves in this one is that it's a clean romance. There's no sexy times. I don't know. It's the worst. The worst. So I think I'm going to give it 3 stars, honestly. I mean, it was good. There was, you know, some suspenseful moments, and I like the 2 characters together. But, yeah, those are a couple things that just irked me in that book. So, really, Jakobi Diem just carried the book. He really did. He really did. So, I am going to be continuing to pack up the camper for our camping trip for this weekend. And now I'm going to be listening to, what is it called? Something Love, Fearless Love by Dania Marie. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I will check in with you a little bit later. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Friday, April 23rd. We got up to our camping spot last night, and yesterday or the day before, I finished Fearless Love by Deanna Marie, and I liked this book. There was a whole lot of drama. There was so much drama. I was living for it. I was here, and there was that dreaded miscommunication trope. You know, there's rumors flying around. Our 2 main characters are kind of big, like, celebrities. The female is an actress, and then the male is a rapper. So they're kind of, you know, in the spotlight. And before they got to, it's also Friends to Lovers. They're friends before. So before they got together, of course, they have their own, you know, flings going on. And when they decided to be together, those other people were like, oh, I knew you guys were like fooling around, blah, 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 because they've been such good friends in the past. People are like, oh, like girls and boys like cannot be, you know, friends without, you know, a little something on the side, you know. And so they're, you know, feeling petty and whatever. And there's even one gal who's saying that she's pregnant and it's the guys. And it was just it's a whole thing. So there's rumors going around that they're cheating on each other. And instead of talking to each other, you know, they send like one last angry text message, and they're like, I'm blocking you. And I'm just like, really, y'all? And then, you know, the guy, he's like so mad at her for not listening to him, even though he's not listening to her. And he goes to a strip club and nearly has sex with his ex. I'm like, no, I don't like that. Don't like that. I'm not the kind of person who, once the 2 main love interests get together, there can be no cheating of any kind. And so I didn't like that at all. But I gave it 3 stars. It was Jakobi Diem and Wesley Siobhan. I love these 2 together. These 2 are great together. And they narrate a lot of stuff together. But yeah, and then I moved on to No Holds Barred by Stephanie Nicole Norris, I believe. I'm really liking this one so far. Our female main character, she is like a news anchor, and she just moved to Chicago for a job. And as she's leaving her penthouse apartment, she, you know, hears like this deep baritone voice. There's only one more apartment up there, and, you know, she's instantly intrigued, and, you know, it's like, that voice. But like 3 ladies are leaving his apartment. So she's like, I just got out of a really bad relationship. I'm not looking for a one-night thing. And this seems like he's like a major player kind of thing. So that's basically where I'm at right now. But I'm really liking it so far. I'm loving Stephanie Nicole Norris. So I definitely have to read her backlist. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, April 27th, and I just got to work. I'm gonna clock in here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to come on here and update you because I haven't in the last several days. Yeah, I was just, you know, up north camping, and, you know, you just kind of, I was drunk the whole time. Let's just put it out there. I was just drunk, but I didn't get a whole lot of writing done, and I didn't get a whole lot of reading done. In my whole lot, I mean none, absolutely 0. I didn't get any pages read or words written, nothing. But yesterday I did finish listening to No Holds Barred by Stephanie Nicole Norris, and I'm really liking this author. I really, really do. I like her writing style. she has some little bits of faith in her work, like her characters are believers, and but it's not like, you know, like Christianity, like in your face, you know, it's not like that. It's just very subtle, and I really like that. I really like it. And Hunter in this book, he is alpha to the extreme without being some sort of paranormal animal. I was like, you get that alpha main character, unless you're, you know, you're reading a BDSM, you're mostly getting the alpha characters in paranormal, whether they be shifters or vampires. But this one, I mean, he is alpha. He's just, you know, like, I will protect and take care of my woman to the extreme, especially because there's a part where Camilla, she had recently come off of a breakup. She was engaged to him, but then her ex like gets cold feet and kind of like breaks everything off, and then he comes like crawling back, and so she's like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that anymore. She took a job, she left, and this man, her ex, tracks her down, and he gets pretty violent with her, very angry. They're in public too, and he like grabs her arm, spins her around. Thank God Hunter was there. He put a stop to it, and he was like, you need to put a restraining order on this guy ASAP. And she's like, no, let me just talk to him. And he's like, no, you need to do it. And she does. But yeah, it was kind of, whew. And at the end of this book, spoiler alert, but it was really sweet at the end. She goes to Florida because there's this really bad hurricane coming, and her parents still live there. And she was like, I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna try and talk them into coming and staying here. She lives in Chicago. And I guess her dad is like really hard-headed, and her mom was like, it's gonna do you no good. He's gonna stay here come hell or high water, which is, high water is literally what the issue is, because there's a hurricane coming. But yeah, so she goes, and the storm like progresses rapidly. Like, she gets there, and then the hurricane is boom right there, and Hunter finds out, and he loses his shit. He flies as close as he can to Florida, then he drives, then he runs. Get yourself a man who will go through crazy hurricane weather for you. Just get yourself a Hunter. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a Hunter. But yeah, it was a really great book. I really enjoyed it. And of course, Jakobi Diem. It's Jakobi Diem and Wesley Siobhan. And yeah, like I said, I like these two together. I like them a lot. But today, sorry, the air conditioning just kicked on at work. I don't know why the air is on, because it's nice outside. It's like 58 degrees and it's raining. Why is the air coming on? It's above my pay grade. But anyway, so today I'm going to be listening to Higher Love. Yes, Higher Love by Alexandria House. And this is narrated by, of course, Jakobi Diem, but also the female narrator, her name is Mari. So, I can't remember if I've listened to anything narrated by her. I'll have to look. But I'm very excited. Sorry, somebody walked in. But I just wanted to wrap this up and say I will talk to you later, and I hope that I will get this book read or listened to today. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, April 28th. And this morning I finished Higher Love by Alexandria House. So this one was kind of a little bit shorter than previous books that I've been listening to. And we have Greer and we have Derek in this book. Greer is a travel blogger. She actually has enough like subscribers and followers for her to make a living out of it. So she is at this festival, and there she meets Derek. And at first she was kind of like, no, yes, you're attractive as heck, but she's engaged to be married. I can't do it, you know, whatever. And then the whole time she's there, every time she calls her fiance, he doesn't answer. She tries to find him on Facebook, and his Facebook is completely gone. And so she calls her friend, and she was like, I can't see his Facebook either. Let me do some digging. And her friend does, and they come back with, he is literally engaged to someone else, and she's pregnant. So she is obviously heartbroken. You know, she loved this man, and breaking off an engagement, like by blocking them on Facebook. petty, but anyway. So at this festival, she is getting just drunk because she's obviously sad. And she thinks, why not? Why not take Derek up on, his offer? So, one night they just, they're dancing and, one thing leads to another. They're staying at the same hotel. And then after the festival ends, he convinces her to stay an extra couple of days and they just go at it. And then she sneaks out, just leaves. And this whole time, he doesn't even know her real name. They first met, he asked for her name. And she's like, well, what do you want it to be? And he's like, well, you look like a Monique. And she's like, well, then that's my name. So he was literally calling her Monique this whole time. Even though when you get to his POV, he's like, her name's not Monique. But yeah, so she hightails it out of there. And seemingly no way to get in touch with her. Life kind of goes on until she gets this kind of marketing deal with a company that makes jets. And she walks into this marketing meeting to kind of like, it would be her, like they would sponsor her. And whenever she would go, she would travel, she would fly on the jet and, all that jazz. And when she walks into this meeting, who is the CEO of this company other than Derek? It's just perfect. Just perfect. And so that's basically, the premise of the book. And there was some drama on both parts. Like, she has an ex and he has an ex. He has an ex who is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Has to do with a pregnancy that's not really a pregnancy. Like, she's literally wearing a fake baby bump to try to get him back. Ma'am. And this is also one of those books where Greer and Derek are so happy. So happy. He's proposing. Everything has worked out tremendously well. But there's still an hour and a half left of the audiobook. You know something's going to go down. You just know it. And of course it does. I'm not going to tell you anything. But I'm just like, I can't wrap up this early. We still got time left in the audiobook. Oh my goodness. But it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm loving Alexandra House. So I need to read her entire backlist. And honestly, I think this is going to be the end of this vlog. Because I don't have any more holds left for Hoopla. So instead of kind of like dragging this out to the next month for more holds, I'm just going to wrap it up because I think I've talked about like 10 or 11 books. And I think that's pretty long. Because when I was typing out like his whole like repertoire of audiobooks, it's a lot. And I had a lot that were available to me on a variety of the services that I use for audiobooks, like Hoopla. Libby, not so much. Hoopla was better at having, these romance books. And then also Audible Plus, they had a couple as well. So I decided like whatever I could get on Hoopla, which I did, I used up all my credits. And then whatever was available on Audible Plus, which I did. And then also just the first in a series. Except for Them Boys, I listened to all of those audiobooks, to all 3. So, but yeah, I think it's like 10 or 11 books. So on this sheet I already highlighted the books that I've already listened to prior to this vlog. So I didn't want to count them. So I'm just going to go through and highlight the ones that I listened to.